People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in and them things. Friday is obviously Q&A day. People, first and foremost, thank you very much for obviously answering the questions. No question is stupid. I don't know for other YouTubers, and obviously we know about the comment section gangsters and them thing there, but no question is stupid. No one, so don't feel no way to ask anything. And yeah, man, I'm trying my best, so let's crack on. First question, Tavins asks, thoughts on Leo, I believe it's Ostigard, and Kitolano of Wolves. Two players I don't know nothing about, my guys, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, Tavin. I can't give you an opinion, but YouTube and various websites on the internet can point you in the right direction. Clearly, you know more about them players than me, so the prerogative's on you, my guy. Moving on from your question, we've got Antonio. He's asked me two questions. Another username I see all the time, and he's, unlike a lot of usernames I see all the time, he's never chatting nonsense. But big up yourself. You've asked, do you think we need a hard-working winger who plays with high intensity like Youssef Attal, or a more creative player with flair like Nicolas Pepe? Now, obviously Attal can play fullback and wing off, and he can do his thing. Is it on the left-hand side? Forgive me if I'm wrong. I see what you're saying, but I think Pepe's fairly intensive, and a good player, or just any footballer in general, he's never going to necessarily have to play a certain sort of, he's going to have to adapt to a team in certain things. And I believe you could argue both kind of have both qualities you're talking about. High intensity is a given at this club. We're going to have to do it. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but in certain statistics, we're running more under Unai Emery, and we just know we need that intensity, that Alexis Sanchez before he turned pagan, chasing lost causes, doing his thing out wide as well as coming inside. Because as much as I want a winger who's going to sit out there people and get chalk on his boots, they need to come inside and be able to link up well and do things like that. And whatever way you look at it, the modern day footballer, there's wingers obviously and people that make use of them positions, but them sort of players there, are they necessarily the highest scoring individuals? You would class Salah as a winger previously when is it Klopp? Yeah, Klopp had him on the right wing, but slightly more inside. He started scoring goals, and there's many different examples. Raheem Sterling's wide play has improved as well, but why is he scoring more goals and not? He's getting more assists, but why is he scoring more than he assists, sort of thing? Because he's getting into dangerous positions. So it's a bit of both, my guy, man. I think you've got to marry the two together, my G. You've asked, which young player since Lucas Torreira are you extremely desperate that becomes an Arsenal player? I'd say Gravenberch of Ajax, or Unova of Ajax to be fair, or Churchy of Lyon, Agume of I can't even say his name. I can't say his name, and I can't even say his club, FC Solskjaer or whatever it is. Them sort of players there, but I must admit, probably them players there off the top of my head, my guy, man. Or if there's a young Raheem Sterling out there, him, but other than that, not really any, my G. Benjamin's asked, which of our current players do you think No, you didn't ask. Well, you did ask our current players. I messed up your question. I thought I put a word that wasn't there. Which of our current players do you think is / world class presently? Obviously, people, stay with me. If other people can judge world class on what they judge it on and things, and as I've grown up and my view on football has changed and I've adapted new things and philosophies, I think that term is thrown around too often in nowadays, people. World class can mean something different for me than someone else, but I don't think there's a world class player on my side. That doesn't mean I don't think there's top quality players, Lacazette and Aubameyang are bad boy footballers, for example. But world class, excluding Messi and Ronaldo, that means for me that you're touching one of them sort of pedestals there, and I don't think excluding the two phenoms, can we say them words there? Phenomenons. You try it again, but phenoms, innit? Phenoms. Excluding them two, I don't think there's a player I can say touches there, or not. If away from that, if I say top 5 in any position in the world, I don't feel we have a player that's top 5 necessarily. Obviously, people will sit and probably make a case for the strikers, and that's up to them. I personally feel strikers are dying out, but I personally don't feel there's a world class I don't think there is are any world class players to use your question as an answer, my guy. So yeah, man, I think there's some quality players, few and beyond, but there's quality players in the side for me. But world class, don't think so. Omar asks, big up yourself, always first to comment, always in the comments. Oh man, I believe you said you're from Kenya. Forgive me if I'm wrong. So big up the Kenyans and wherever you are, your town in Kenya and that, man. Shout out to you, man. DG gone global now. But do you mind us signing Jonathan Tah? Nah, he's a bad boy, man. He's a calm centre half you can develop and things. So why not? Wagyu's asked, forgive me if my name's wrong, if I got it wrong, but you've asked, would you cash in our strikers for 145 million? Aubameyang to 70 million to Real Madrid and 75 for Lacazette to Atletico/Barca in brackets. If yes, who do you get to replace them? I think it'd be suicide to let both go. That's not really going far, is it? You can buy one quality striker, but it's not necessarily going the farthest, people. 145 million. So no, I wouldn't sell both. I'd sell one, but I wouldn't sell both. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. What was I gonna say? 1 second, people. People, deluded. Now, the reason I said 1 second is actually because I saw a spider and I had to go clap that. I was thinking, should I get up and just tell you, look, I'm going to do that, or should I just handle it? And I had to just handle that one real quickly, people. So, yeah, obviously, Wagyu obviously asked if you missed me. Would I sell our strikers for a total of 145 million? And who would I get to replace them? I said no, but I don't know, my guy. You could probably try. I don't know. You can try and grab you'd have to try and look at probably Cavani's situation, because he wants to stay at PSG, but is he the top man? You'd probably have to plead him. Yeah, man, you'd have to. If I sold both of them, obviously I'm not saying Cavani would join us in that, but if I sold both of them, just to humour you, if I had to sell both of them, my guy, and I had to ensure that come the end of the transfer window, before to let the fans off my back, a striker of some sort, then I have to go over them. And we're not going to give Cavani's wages. We're not. Like, you just look at certain striker situations. You probably just have to do what some people do in FIFA, just bid for everybody and see who says, well, go on. But it'd be suicide, essentially, to let both go. And 145 million isn't really going far in terms of strikers, man, really and truly, man. So, yeah. Justice has asked, what do you think of the new Arsenal kits that was leaked out? Now, I can't lie, my guy. If they're 100, if Arsenal were behind the leak and it's the 30 thing, it's the actual kit, then the yellow, I'm sorry, I have to cop the yellow thing. I hear what people are saying. The red, the whole one looks hard, but the yellow one is the standout. Apparently, I've never seen it, but from certain things I read and stuff, I hear we'll have it. Our third shirt is gonna come out and it's gonna be fire as well. So we're gonna see, man. Hopefully, we're back in the Champions League. I mean, if we're back in the Champions League and certain results like what happened against Bayern a few years ago happen again, at least we got some decent kits. Banter people before some people cry. You know, you got them small section of idiots, 7 twats and that. But I think it's sick kits, my guy. AC's asked, what would be your team for the Europa League final? It's difficult right now. But on top of my head, Leno. For me, I hear Czech. I don't feel Czech would throw a game or do any of that nonsense. But for me, people, I believe in playing your best team, and I believe Leno is the better keeper. I think Czech does some things better than Leno. Certain things like the experience sort of thing, calming people down, knowing when to not try certain passes. Because I think Leno's sick, but sometimes I feel because of his ball playing at times, and it's very far and few. Sorry, it invites pressure, and it's a cup final. But for me, I'd play Leno, 2 centre halves, Socrates, and probably Koscielny. In fact, probably go 3 at the back. You know, off the top of my head right now, 3 at the back. So what? Leno, Monreal, Koscielny, Socrates. Left back by default is Kolar. Right back Maitland-Niles. It's difficult. I'd probably go with Xhaka, Torreira, and Torreira. Guendouzi in a 10, and you've got to go with the 2 strikers. Probably Torreira, Guendouzi, Xhaka in the midfield. So that's the 5. And there's 3 more positions if my maths is wrong. Forgive me if I've named 12 players, but you probably have to go with Ozil and the 2 strikers. And if I've counted 12 players, people, sorry for looking away, people. I do this a lot when I focus, man. I'm actually trying to think of the game situations. That's a good question, to be fair. And we're going to have to leave that to the preview, because you're getting the creative juices flowing unnecessarily, AC, man. Like, it's getting them moving, and preview will think about that. But you're making me ponder too much, man, about possible scenarios in the game. Hopefully the players I've named can answer your question. David James has asked, do you believe Raul/Vinay? Well, yeah, I think Raul spoke with conviction, and again, seeing is believing, and we've got a long way to go, but why shouldn't I believe him? And people can make up whatever minds. S has asked, who is going to do a man marking job on Jorginho? That's tough. That's a good question. That's a good question. By default, in the 10 row, you'd say Ozil because that would be Ramsey, but we all know Ozil can't do that. That's not his attribute specifically. You look at Guendouzi because he's got that box to box in him, but is he mature enough to stick to his task if he is given that? Similar to the complete opposite to when Ramsey could do that. I'm not too sure. Mkhitaryan could probably have done a better job than Ozil at doing that, but he's obviously sadly not going to play any part. If Torreira does it, then obviously you'd have to leave a pivot. You probably have to I think you probably have to get Torreira to do it, and just pray to God that the pivot on Xhaka and Guendouzi behind them is patterned up. But probably Torreira, to be fair. But that would probably mean him having to be more advanced. And obviously that's good for killing Jorginho out of the game essentially. But defensively, we kind of want Torreira in the best recovery position. Obviously he's got the box to box thing in him. Diabolical, your name makes me laugh every time, man. Shout out yourself. You've asked, do you think more English youngsters should go abroad for first team opportunities in England? I butchered your question, man. I'm tired. Do you think more English youngsters should go abroad for first team opportunities as pathways in England are so limited? Depends on how you look at it. Whether it's abroad and whatever, I believe, my guy, players need to sign themselves. They need to. I know if I was a young G at any top 6 club or anything, I'd want to win there and make it there and stuff. But you need to remember, you're essentially cattle. You look at the team now, I love Amici and Saka, for example. But the reality is, if I neither make it, there's going to be someone younger than them. The club can bring people in. And regardless of, or even look at City's situation, at Arsenal, regardless of being sick, you being a baller is why you're in this position. Like, Amici's a baller and I think he's got potential, but him being that is why he's in this position at Arsenal touching first team. Same for Saka. Obviously, you've got Nelson, Emil and all of these sort of things and younger than them. So if you're one of them, I'd be killing to make it at Arsenal, but I'd consider other possibilities because the end goal is being a professional footballer. You look at Jadon Sancho. Not everyone that buses out, leaves England is going to be him. There's plenty of cases of English players, young English players going abroad and it's good. It's a good experience, but them not going and being Sancho and more established and stuff. Rabbi Matondo fairly at Schalke. Where would Jadon Sancho be? Probably England under 21s, maybe the under 20s or whatever. Maybe the occasional appearance from off the bench. Foden's made a fair amount of appearances, but how many times has Foden necessarily got 90 minutes? Now, I'm not critiquing City or Phil Foden because he's a Premier League winner and he's playing games and everyone's development thing is different. But Sancho wanted to play games. He's played in some games. He's played in some big games in the Champions League and in Germany. That's what the man them grow up to want to be, a footballer. No disrespect to Dortmund, but I'm sure he didn't grow up wanting to be a Dortmund player or anything like that. But he's playing at a fantastic club with fantastic fans. Champions League. Obviously there's the hype and stuff, but I think it's a benefit he's away from England. Come on, man, this guy could leave his house in England, go Nando's, they'll make up stories how he's a womanizer and these things there. I'm not saying German press don't do that, but he can live his life, focus on football, and not be involved in certain things, man. He can always come back to the Prem as well. He clearly has. He must have Premier League ambitions. He grew up in South. He must have wanted to play Prem. I don't know if I think he supported Chelsea when he was younger, but yeah, you never know, man. He's established himself. That's what you've got to look at. You've got to look at the meal ticket. Daniel Marlon playing at PSV. Jeffrey Adley touching under 21s. Benacia getting linked with Napoli and that. Couple other success stories. Sign yourself. Don't listen to what a club or anyone's got to say because you're just one of many. That's my personal opinion, and that goes for whether you want to stay in England or elsewhere. Like I always say, I believe patience is overstated, but it's underrated. It doesn't mean get up and go. It means looking at your situation individually. Look at Tyrese John Jules. I think he's a good striker with a lot of potential. Think the same with Eddie. Think the same with Greenwood. Think the same with Balogun. You can see how many names I've said there in terms of strikers. They've all got potential. That's why they're in this position. Look at the first team. Lacazette and Aubameyang. There's 38 games in the Premier League, however many in any cup competitions. Yes, by that logic, there's a lot of football to be played. But there's not a lot of football in terms of development because everyone's developing at different rates. John Jules might be a better striker, but he might be not as good in certain other tactical aspects. Balogun might be struggling to score goals at first team level, but tactically he adopts to what the manager says so he could get a chance. That is just a hypothetical argument. There's many different things and variables that go into making it. That's why there's never one just singular route, people. It can't be. Everyone's unique. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, man, moving on. No disrespect, but let's move on. Thank you for your question. Jan's asked, Would you prefer 2 goal-scoring wingers instead of Aubameyang? You need a striker though, my guy. You need a striker who's going to score goals. Lacazette's there and stuff, but if you remove Aubameyang's 22 goals, where would we be? And just focus on Lacazette's. Yes, Lacazette's done his thing, but imagine if our top striker just had 13. Where would we be in the league? Lacazette and 2 goal-scoring wingers, depending on what the term goal-scoring wingers is. Because you can, I see your angle and you're not wrong, but no, I wouldn't, you know. One would do. Aubameyang and bless me. One would do. Let one of the young G's, let the young G's at the club develop. One will do. Invest in other areas on top of that, my guy. For me, anyways. BM's asked, what's your opinion on the interview with Vinay? Kind of answered that in a couple of vids I've brought out, so just check that. Mansour's asked, do you think our team at this moment needs to look at the way Dortmund works because they sell their young talent for big money and replace them with even better? Well, in terms of doing smart business, you could say yes, man. It seems like the German clubs all work together because got Brandt for peanuts, Thorgan Hazard for a decent price, Pulisic for big money, pays for itself. And they're also sitting on a big payday if and when the time comes that Jadon Sancho ever departs the club. You're looking at how crazy football is now. Probably looking at anything from 50 to maybe even 100 million for Jadon Sancho one day. So they're doing their investments. They've also got the young Spanish guy, Sergio Gomez, in a couple of years, and many other players. And it's not just the young players. You look at Aubameyang now. I remember when Aubameyang wasn't necessarily the most clinical striker, and I can't remember his pathway, but he went to Dortmund via some other places, established himself, and he left for big money at an age where you can only get worse. You can get better as a footballer, but in terms of reselling that, you're only going to decline. So there's that. Swervo's asked, do you think we should use the same tactics we did against Chelsea in the league in the final? Perhaps, probably. So that's a question for my Q&A, to be fair. AM's asked, who would make your Arsenal 5-a-side? Excluding keeper or just normal 5-a-side, like if we was all Mandem and went to the park? Excluding the keeper, Lacazette, Torreira, Aubameyang, Reece Nelson, probably Amici, you know. Amici / Saka, the slash thing, but one of them, probably that, you know, excluding the keeper. Good question. If it was including the keeper, I'll go Leno. You know what? Let's mix it up. Leno, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson. Again, yeah, that would be it. My head was telling me say Guendouzi, but there was other goalers in it. Good question, man. I've enjoyed that question. Probably the best question I saw today, to be fair. Ghosters asks, I don't know where my questions went down. Thoughts on Mertesacker / Czech as technical director of the club? It can't happen in Czech's case because he's going to Chelsea right now. Maybe Mertesacker is groomed into that role one day. Who knows? Snipes asked, would you give Unai Emery a new contract if he wins the Europa League? A long-term contract, sorry. Not sure about the term long-term. There's a lot to be said, but he'd be going in the right direction. Bells has asked, what content plans do you have for pre-season and what do you think will happen with Unai Emery's contract situation after his current deal? Not a clue, to be fair with you, my guy, in terms of what will happen. We don't know what's going to happen. In terms of pre-season content, obviously we'll speak about what's happening in the transfer market with Arsenal and Arsenal's preparations for next season. We've obviously got that. What else is there? The youth under-19s, the under-20 World Cup that started today, Thursday, at the time of making this vid. We've obviously talked about the under-17s, the Toulon tournament. Any other tournaments I find out and get my hands about, but I'll be here, man. It's a weird time, man. You'll see me, man. You know you get that DG content. Don't worry, my guy. What other questions we got? Joe has asked, if we win Europa League, does Bellerin get a medal? I don't know. Someone in the comments answered that question. I don't know. Marble Halls asked, who is favourites for the Nations League? England, man. Let's just do this thing. On a serious note, I would probably say France, but who knows until it actually happens, man. The favourites and who actually do this thing, 10 times out of 10, two different things. Are Croatia in it? Maybe they do a thing. I don't know. It'll be good to watch, man. God knows, my guy. I have no clue. So bye. Can't say your name. Sorry, my guy. Your last name's Zahir, so if I can, Mr. Zahir. Other than football, what other sports are you interested in? To be fair, not many. I'll watch if a Wimbledon's on, if Lewis Hamilton's there, pre and them things. But like getting into American football bit by bit, just purely from the tactical basis. Obviously, I watch boxing. I like boxing. If football didn't exist, it'd probably be Deluded boxing or something. But football's got my heart, man. One sport, my love, man, and that's football. Alvin's asked opinions on Chelsea signing Pulisic. Is he even that good? No one knows until he kicks the ball, but I like Pulisic. Probably stagnated in the last couple of years, but it's down to him to prove people like you wrong and do his thing, man. Alvin, you've also asked, do you think Pepe will fit into AFC because he plays in a very counter-attacking team? The best footballers adapt. Every footballer adapts. There's been players that have played under Wenger and Jose Mourinho, two polar opposites, and they have thrived. There's a bit feud. You get any professional footballer, a top player who can only play one way is probably not a top footballer, unless you're Messi, where you're so good you have to do your thing and the team have to assist that. Do you get? Liam's asked similar. Are you impressed with Dortmund getting in excellent deals done so early in the window? Of course, it was clearly planned and executed to perfection. J20. Don't know if you've already spoken about it, but what's your opinion on Daniel James of Man United, well, soon to be Man United? I think he's decent. If I was a United fan, I wouldn't say underwhelming, but underwhelming in that he's not a star yet, but I think he's a decent young option that can complement the side and do his thing. It's not really relevant, but I've actually saw today that his dad died, and commiserations, man. Sad how life can be. Like you said, possibly signing for United, and his dad's not going to see him do that if it happens. So, fingers crossed, and our thoughts are with you and your. I think I speak for everyone when I say our thoughts are with you and your family and loved ones, and we're giving all our strength to you, Daniel James, man. Some things are more important than football, and that could be anyone at any time. I hate to hear about death, man. So let's move on. Khalid's asked, can you predict the amount of ins and outs that are coming in the next months? I don't know the future, my guy. We'll have to wait and see. So no, I can't, my guy. BM's asked, in your opinion, how many players number-wise do you think Arsenal will buy and sell this summer? Literally the same question. My guy, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd love to hear minimum three additions in, but out, who knows, man. Only the club know. I think that's it. I don't think I've missed anyone else out. And if I have, come on, man, we've been here for a time. Like, I can't always get everybody, man. I'm trying, man. And as this thing is getting more and more people, it's getting harder, man. I always see some people saying, you left my question out. Ask that again, man. I try, my guys. Like you can see, I try, but you can't do it all the time, dog. So, yeah, man. People, thank you very much always for rocking with me and supporting me and obviously asking these questions. We've been here for 17 minutes plus, well, you've seen me cut out at this point, do the little affecting. But, yeah, people, what can I say? Thank you very much, man. People, Deluded, enjoy your evening, day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Stay blessed, stay in good spirits. I'm out.